struggle, but definitely feel uncomfortable in the laning stage, right? We're seeing a lot of pressure coming out of the supports, so these cores will start dipping back into farm the jungle as MP moves towards the Ancients, starts clearing through those. Jabs can maybe claim some of the shared experience as he walks on by. And the smoke coming into mid, looking for the storm, but Abed, like I've been saying, he's very afraid of where these supports are going. I don't know if he knew about this smoke. There's no wards or vision covering that southern area, but he will dodge it. Jabs, on the other hand, will not. Walks straight into the two of them. And as we see in the business, he's tanked the gank.
Yep, tags the gank. And now they can take a tower because of this, ideally. Oh, ISIS has actually rotating to say this tier 1. This could be a problem. Jokam is acting as the guardian here. Full sandstorm, so if you get hit by the burst, that's a lot of damage going your way. ISIS decides to take a different route. Ha! I'm smarter than you. I don't need to go through that sandstorm. And now they can actually go for Mikoto. Ideally, Abed with Electric Vortex. But the Ice Path saves Mikoto for a while. He needs to blink away. Mikoto gets it in time. Unfortunately, Senki might not be so lucky. He still has the burst, so it goes down to the low ground. Ice can follow through Abed as well. Sonic Wave to the face, and Ice has been deleted. Mikoto wants to keep on fighting, but there's just not much he can do, even with the double damage. Now with the Primal Roar, setting up again for this kill. Nice bait C-Dick. Mikoto now in trouble. No more double damage, and he does die down for this Rubik kill.
Man, that Queen of Pain doesn't quite get the Storm fully there in the river. Could have potentially killed off Brew and Storm together, but Abed escaping the skin of his teeth and then committing for that Rubik kill as well. Really nice Fate Edict, you have to say, from Jabs, kind of baiting the Queen of Pain in, allowing for that trade back onto the tier 1. And what's happening in this game? 6 heroes mid, all of a sudden, 9 minutes in, having a massive brawl in that middle lane. 30 seconds until the bounty runes come up, though, and this is going to be the next big point of contest. We've got Brew level 6, he's ready to fight. Storm Spirit comes down towards bottom lane as well, as Jabs and MP already in the area should be able to secure up both of the southern bounty runes. But then you look at where Boom are. Sand King, Arc Warden, Jakiro, they're lurking in the shadows down south as well. But I don't think they've got an opportunity to get the bounty runes there as they get jumped on. A move towards the Sand King should be able to bring him down. A kill claimed by Fnatic, and that will secure both runes there. And Arc Warden's like, sod this, I'm out, I'm going top lane, see you guys. Double bounty rune for Fervian will be able to finish off his Hand of Midas and get a nice bit of gold and pocket money for himself to move on forward. This game on a nice edge though, 4-6, very little in it net worth-wise, lead one way or the other. Boom, a very explosive lineup and an explosive draft for sure with Arc Warden and Queen of Pain. But Kezcute gonna get caught underneath his own tier 1. ISIS and Jabs will punish and take the objective with a catapult wave.
Well, I mean, it's a small kill with a support, but if you get the tier 1 with it, that's fantastic. We actually see a rotation here with the second support. And we're doing the classic strategy of going in 1 by 1 and sacrificing your core. What? Okay, never mind. You don't have no dust. There's no vision for a Sanking, so he's gonna survive this completely. And we are seeing MP starting to rotate and take the enemy farm with their jungle being taken away. He's leading net worth quite nicely, and he already took that ancient stack we saw earlier. So.
Yeah, I just swapped over to net worth and I was like, okay, we see Drow with what, like 80 CS? Storm 74, Queen of Pain 70. It should be pretty close? No. Storm 4k net worth, Drow 6k. A solid 2,000 difference. As Abed, on this Storm, looking for Kezcute, and that's a free kill with the haste rune. Gets the kill rune, powers up. Runs through that jungle and finds an easy peasy kill over on poor little Jakiro, who has no boots still. 11 minutes in, and he's got no movement speed on the double-headed dragon.
With that, Fnatic with 1k in the lead. They have managed to win the lanes. You have a Drow lineup, and all you need to do now is make sure the Storm also becomes slightly powerful. It's up to Arc Warden now to actually manage to push out these lanes and stop the objective taken. He has a Midas going on the Maelstrom first, but until you don't get the Maelstrom, your lane taking or your lane pushing in general is quite garbage. So Fervian just needs to play passively for a while. Hopefully Queen of Pain can open up some kills here. Mikoto is looking into the middle lane, hoping to save it from Abed's wrath.
They need to start creating some space. This Beastmaster and Queen of Pain need to really pair up, maybe even get the trio going with the Sand King and look for kills, especially the Drow Ranger, because Fnatic, they're accelerating. Net worth lead might not indicate that right now, but it will increase significantly as they go for a fight in through the Ice Path. A Storm will ball, and Beastmaster is a goner. Why not split even use? Brewmaster's like, let's get in here.
I mean,
tower.
You have the tower, right? You have the Pulverize here on the... Demolish, sorry. On the Earth Spirit, so you could just take this tower quite nicely with the split. You're forcing a Glyph early, doesn't really matter because you're taking a tier 1. And let's see what else you can do. A Cyclone to stop this Jakiro for now, but no setup. And the tower will fall.
Is autocam bugged?
Yeah, so the assisted camera is zooming in and out, and I'm trying my best to...
Automatically?
Yeah. So as when you walk through the thing, it'll zoom in and out depending on what part of the terrain you're at.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we're sorry for the weird, like, slight zoom in, slight zoom out. We're trying our best to keep it level, but I don't really know what way the camera goes necessarily. So.
Yikes.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. We don't want to turn this assisted camera off, though, because that does make it... I'm just not good as an observer. I'm sorry. There's nothing more to be said. Nope. Sand King Burstrike. They're going to catch the storm here. There's the Epicenter charged up. Abed. No, it's going to be Jabs in trouble, sacrificing his life for the core. And that's good, though. Abed saved himself because of this.
Yeah, keeping our Storm alive. Wasting Raw and Epicenter for an Oracle kill feels pretty bad as Boom. They will go deeper looking for the Drow Ranger, but MP has already fallen back from the jungle camps. It does create a bit of space for Fervian. You know, he's got himself 2/3 of the way through his Maelstrom with that Hand of Midas off cooldown now. He's going to get a usage out of it, all nice and dandy. FBZ is going to take out the stack that Drow had made for herself. But Fnatic really do have this map nicely controlled. They've got the vision of where people are moving in and out. So ISSI shoves bottom lane. They feel and see the Beastmaster, Jakiro, Sand King playing around that middle lane and playing through into the triple camp. So even though Fnatic kind of get pushed back, they immediately come out aggressively. Because they see everything. The vision game is theirs. Yep. So they know when to fall back and play defensively and passively, and they know exactly when to snap back the other way and find a couple of kills straight off. Like Boom here, it feels really bad. Oh, they're gonna get double gusted as well. No, no, this is not how it's meant to be.
Wow.
Oh, that is a chain feed. So, right, okay, let's go through
when
this.
The F word has been used, that's some major words, man.
Yeah, I was like, what? I didn't swear? Yes, the F word.
Yeah, okay.
So let's procedurally think about what happened there, right? Boom ID, what they want to do is they want to create space for Fervian, and at the same time they want to catch the Drow and or the Storm. So they play forward into the mid lane, they push out the mid lane to open up that bottom half of the map so they can play through the river and into the triple camp. They play into the triple camp and they miss out on the They miss out on the Storm kill mid because of the Oracle. Then they move into the triple camp, Drow moves backwards, Fnatic all fall back to their third of the map, basically in their base. So that's how defensive they were. And then immediately, because they see that Arc Warden is staying top, Queen of Pain has moved bottom, Beastmaster has shifted into the jungle to farm, they come out quickly. That's the speed at which Fnatic are playing right now. They immediately move out, kill the Sand King, and then they go deeper to find another one, Jakiro, further back. And for some reason, I can't understand why. You've lost 2 heroes as Boom, and Arc Warden is still top. So your best scenario is like a 2v4 or a 2v5, and Boom still walk into that fight, which is bizarre to me. Really feeling...
It was
way over aggressive. Maybe Quap thinks, hey, I've got a big Sonic Wave here, but I still feel it's just not effective.
Catch the Storm here with Pummel Roar. Disable the False Promise, though. He's been disarmed. The Epicenter does nothing, though, because of the Fate's Edict, which means the Sand King feels kind of useless. Now Mikoto could be in trouble. Abed quite confident in this team fight, but realized the Macropar actually hurt him a considerable amount. And the point you were making, especially about the moving into the team fight, was odd, because usually when you see your teammates dying, you will stay in the high ground and say, well, if they make the mistake of going up to the high ground, we'll surprise them with a Queen of Pain and a Beastmaster, kill them. But instead, you're walking right into the enemy team, right into that gust, right? Like, they already have the superior vision to begin with, but you're also giving it to them. Who might be stressing out a bit too much about these skills, and like you're saying, the Beastmaster and the Quap just haven't had the impact they were hoping for, especially his Beastmaster with only 4.7k net worth. Yeah. He's below the Rubik. He's a Vlad's. He's done absolutely nothing this game.
Especially when the Beastmaster has gone for this tempo item build. You know, the Vlad's is very much a group up and play. Push towards objectives. It isn't a Necro where you can split push. It's not a Blink Dagger or like a Shadow Blade where you can go for those pick-off plays necessarily easily.
Or the solo kills either with the Necro,
but they do have Sand King Blink Dagger coming up, so that's going to be what they're aiming for right now. Orchid on Queen of Pain isn't too far away, but primarily they will be aiming for that Sand King Blink to kind of get them off the mark. And Jokum, he's kind of rushed it, you know. Tranquil Stick, Quelling Blade into the Blink, no stat items or anything like that.
You're a support Sankey. Let's not ask that much out of the poor guy.
But I mean, occasionally we see Arcanes or Urn or
I agree, yeah.
sort of additional
Soaring as well, yeah, right.
you know, a full wand maybe, but no branches for him. The trouble is Fnatic have now got themselves their key items. They've got to such a decent lead that Storm Spirit has Kaya working on his own Orchid, and they're in that classic race, basically. If we remember back 4 or 5 years ago to where Dota 2 used to be, or Dota 1 even, the Queen of Pain versus Storm Spirit matchup, it's a classic. It really is. And it all used to come down to whoever gets Orchid first wins not just the matchup, but the game. back then, it really was just win the game off of the timing of your item. And Abed, with this decent positioning he's got with the Kaya into Orchid, is still going to have Orchid at a reasonably fast time. But he's got the backup of the Oracle. That means that the Queen of Pain's Orchid isn't going to be as effective as his. And like we said about the Jakiro, there's no save from Jakiro. Okay. They will make a jump top.
Epicenter charged up. Ice could be in trouble as Primal split though. Primal Roar keeps him in place. No Primal for you. And now even in the bubble, Fervian could be in trouble. The Storm just jumps in, wants to kill Fervian first. And he's going to be finished off with Abed actually dying to Mikoto, who stands his ground there. Drow Ranger a bit out of position. The second manages to stun him out, but there's no more damage for him. And Mikoto does kill off the Oracle in the backlines, not before he gets off his false promise to save this Drow. However, MP is now versus 2 cores. As a marksmanship as the Beastmaster stays near him. Stick to him, Beastmaster, stick to him! And with that, MP will go down. Sonic Wave that misses completely as DJ steals that burst strike and walks away. But he's the only member of Fnatic to survive this team fight.
So I think Fnatic come in there feeling really strong. They've lost the Brewmaster, but they know that a number of spells have been expended on him, right? The Primal Roar being the most important one. Knowing that is down, the Storm and the Drow feel much more emboldened to go in and play aggressively.
That was
the trouble being Storm was on 470 mana when he died. And he stopped and stood still for a second.
Look at this. Hobbit just went from downtown to Jakiro's face, and away he goes.
Jeez Louise. So yeah, Storm was on 470 mana when he died, so he had mana for Ball Lightning technically. So what I believe happened is that he made the call for Jabs to save him, and Jabs didn't quite get the false promise onto the Storm in time. So Storm therefore dies, and they're forced to use the false promise on the Drow later, but they've lost the majority of their damage. But more importantly, it's that in and out guerrilla warfare that the Storm brings, jumping in and out of the fight, is what they most desperately needed to catch the Queen of Pain on the way out as she blinked to safety. But I think it was just like a miscall from Fnatic. Like one mistake like that, where Abed says, hey, I need false promise, and Jabs doesn't quite get it, which means Abed dies, and there's this domino effect, where Fnatic's turn to chain feed.
Yeah, it is. Again.
But that puts Boom ID straight back in the game.
The Fnatic guys did overstep because of that, and I mean, they didn't really consider that team fight entirely. They do kill Fervian in the process though, but they were kind of tunnel visioning there, thinking, right, if we kill Fervian, this is done. The good thing about Boom ID, but it's quite fantastic actually, is the Queen of Pain's keeping herself relevant, even though you have an Arc Warden. You're not putting all your farm on this hero, you're not playing the 4 Protect 1, and because of that, Mikoto can actually have a bit of an impact. And that surprised Fnatic, because they genuinely were thinking Mikoto is useless at this point. He's not an Arc Warden, we don't care about him. And all of a sudden he came in with a Sonic Wave, manages to deal quite nicely with the supports as well.
Oh, bottom lane, Storm Spirit. Oh, he's TP'd.
Okay, yeah.
I thought FPC has the Shadow Blade. I like it. We were talking about where he needs to go, and they've got that solo pick-off item on the Beastmaster now, so he can play with that Queen of Pain. Didn't quite catch the Storm, though. He was in the right place, right time, just not quite in range. Abed placing that Ball Lightning and TP very nicely. And speaking of Abed, he's got his Orchid in like 400 gold, so Queen of Pain's BKB cannot come soon enough.
Up top, Fervian's in trouble. They didn't catch his clone. They caught the real one with a gust. There's little he can do. He's just going to go down.
Tempest double Rubik, by the way.
Oh, did he actually steal a Tempest double? Oh, that's really good.
He's TPing bottom lane. Look at him go.
Who's a better Arc Ward? Is it DJ?
That's so funny, actually.
I love that you can steal this, but you actually still a lot of gold. Well, it should be a lot of gold. Is that broken? Did they forget to update his bounty?
No, so I've seen it before where the gold doesn't show in the Tempest clone doubles, and I think it's just a bug, because you should still get the 200 or whatever, 250 or whatever.
I mean, should is a very relative word in Dota.
10,000 gold or whatever it is.
It's 200.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. It does feel like
I said 200, 250. I couldn't remember which one it was, and I was just like, yeah, 10,000 gold. It's like $1 million.
It is a lot of gold.
Just round it up, Just keep rounding up until you get to $1 million.
So don't chain feed the clones, Rubik, if that is the case. If not, if it's bugged, then go ahead, abuse the bug as much as you can. Oh, smoke.
Queen of Pain just died, by the way.
I did not see that, actually. How did...
Mid Storm's Orchid, I'm guessing? Yeah, Storm Fresh Orchid. We were talking about that.
Abed's just been zooming in and out of the mid lane. Oh, wait. Primal Roar could catch him. Epicenter charged up with a Burst Strike as well to keep him in place. Sentry. Whoa! The Orchid stops the Burst Strike. That Sentry took way too long to come out. They're very confused by that Invis from the top lane. They managed to kill Fervin a second time. They get the clone for free as well.
Ooh.
So that... I don't know what to say to that.
This is Fnatic. Well, Fnatic know what to say. This is them saying they're not messing around anymore. You know, they're here to win. They're here to play the game. Not giving any free team fights away to Boom ID anymore. And they will secure this Roshan pit for themselves with Epicenter and Raw both down. Difficult prospect for Boom ID to go and contest this. Even Sonic Wave is down for 45 seconds. Roshan already dead, pretty much gone. Aegis for Abed there. So he's got Orchid Kaya, 1,400 gold in the bank towards his Bloodstone. Hurricane Pike and Manta Style now done over on your MP. Drow Ranger. Even Jabs hasn't earned. Someone who very rarely has any items, you know? You've got Blink, Ether Lens, Arcanes on DJ. This Fnatic side, they are ready. They smoke. They know that they are strong. They can take team fights. As long as they get that initial pick off where Storm gets into the back lines, gets a grab, get a kill. With the numbers advantage, they should have an easy time taking these fights. But if Boom ID get the jump, they do have the superior team fight. We said in the draft, Boom ID have the big wombo combos. They've got the team fight ultis. They've got the catch and kill potential. They just need to make sure that the vision game is theirs. But Fnatic are so good with these obs and sentries. Getting deep into the jungle.
Awkward smoke, though.
It's fine. They'll catch Sankey bottom.
I mean, it is a support, I guess. But you could have caught him without the smoke. There was a blind smoke there, right? So I guess it doesn't really... the timing was correct, right? But the vision was simply not there. And oh, there's a fight. They're both silenced, but I think Stormers will get much more damage. Look at that Queen of Pain go! Take the Aegis for free, walk away. Mikoto, he stands his ground. He acknowledges he's a strong player as well. He can't be killed by a Storm. And Fervian now fighting ice with his clone in the middle lane. It's not going to be so easy to farm the clone anymore. Mjolnir's ready. He has travels as well, so the lanes are going to start getting pushed by Fervian. So we're talking about Fnatic timings, but you know, Boom ID is not too far off either. Fervian with the Mjolnir, travels in Midas. You have the Queen of Pain with the Orchid now almost finishing up the BKB to have a way to deal with the Storm Orchid. And the Storm won't have the equivalent, right? He actually decided to go away from that Bloodstone, going for Perseverance instead, and straight up BKB.
BKB, yeah.
Much better option, I think.
He's realized Queen of Pain's rushing BKB. He kind of has to do the same thing.
I'm loving this matchup. This classic matchup Storm Quap is so fun to watch.
It really is. Both with, you know, macro and micro maneuverability, getting across the map into team fights.
Very similar item builds as well.
It's real nice to watch.
I love that Ice Size walked in. It's like, well, how are there this many ghosts? Nope. Just walking away. No bounty for me. And Fervian's actually starting to push these towers down. He's actually up to the tier 3. And Fnatic have not been dealing with his clone because he's actually quite strong right now. And they forgot that Fervian could just push your tower. Then Abed is forced to TP for nothing. Not even 200 gold.
Fnatic do still have to be very wary. Their double wards are both in the top part of the map, around that kind of tier 1 area. They don't have too much vision in towards mid or bottom lane. Sand King, Jakiro, and Queen of Pain. Yeah, they saw Mikoto for a second there. Looks like the catapult just caught a glimpse of her. Difficult to play into it, though. And the Fnatic gets scouted by the Beastmaster Boars.
Thank God, because they were going to get scouted by the Beastmaster himself right after.
So it's this really nice kind of poke and prod from both teams, right? They're looking for these entry points. They're looking for any kind of opportunity they can to begin a team fight. Because both teams want to fight. Both teams feel strong. You know, 9-19, it feels like, or it looks like, by the metrics, Fnatic are massively in the lead. And yes, they do have the kind of item advantage overall across their heroes, but they still don't have the team fight advantage.
Yeah, that single target that the Beastmaster provides, and to some degree the team fight that Sankey provides, starting to become much more powerful, right? The Cyclone is nice for Brewmaster, but you only take a hero out of the team fight at best. You don't do anything more than that.
But I think there's a big difference between the BKBs of the Radiant to the Dire, right? The BKBs of the Radiant allow them to win fights, and the BKBs of the Dire allow them to win the game.
Okay, that's a bold statement, but yeah, you're right. I mean, we have a Drow, right? So I guess that's...
Well, like Drow and Storm, if they get BKBs...
You're just unkillable for a while.
It's all magic damage on the Radiant side, so you literally become unkillable. And then you have the False Promise Fate Edict from Oracle, so you've got tons of ways to mitigate the majority of the damage of Boom ID. As long as you can cast your spells and your items, you know. If Boom ID... Again, it comes down to this idea of who gets the jump first, who has the best vision. Because with Blink, Burrow Strike, with the Shadowblade Roar, these instant initiations, they can catch you before you cast your BKB or your Ball Lightning, or even your False Promise.
Well, there is some physical damage here though on Boom ID starting to build up. Unfortunately, the Arc Warden has to go for the Hurricane Pike because otherwise you can't deal with Drow or Storm. But you know, he's starting to build up items that actually give him some physical damage. Beastmaster went for the Wild Axis damage, which is not very common, but you're not going to go for armor against a Drow. And Queen of Pain starts to hurt with the Orchid and Black King Bar. Like, she deals 200 damage per hit, a bit more, 220-ish, 230. So, we'll see. This next team fight, this Arc Warden's caught out first. Fervy not the best positioning. He's going to be killed off. Aurora a bit too late. Mikoto trying his best. The Sonic Wave, the Macapar even drops. But it's just not going to hurt them enough. Without Fervy, and they're lacking, like you were saying, that real damage source. And Abed will actually survive this as well, thanks to the False Promise. So, Fervian has to be much more careful. That Storm is just the bane of his existence.
Yeah. Boom ID get jumped. It literally is as simple as that. Very, very rarely do we have these situations in Dota where it is, you know, it is a Boolean answer, right? It is 1 or 0. It's like, do I get jumped? Yes, I've lost the team fight. There's nothing really you can do to mitigate it. And again, we come back to the potential for picking heroes with saves or picking heroes with counter initiation. And Boom ID haven't really had the opportunity to get themselves a proper 5v5 team fight.
Now, Storm seriously foregoes the BKE for the Bloodstone because he's like, you know what? I could do that again.
Okay.
Ice Path, Drow Ranger, but there's just no follow-up. You really rely too much on the Arc Warden. The Queen of Pain in the backlines, he was trying to creep skip the lane, right?
Oh, and Storm finds her. Did she have BKB off CD? Oh, it was 5 seconds off cooldown,
Yeah.
on cooldown still. Damn.
Creep skipping the lane with a Storm is a tall order.
Again, we come back to talking about the Storm Spirit
Fervian
catching another. Oh, it's just the clone.
That's just
right?
the clone. But still, it's, you know, free gold. It's 240 actually. I was wrong myself.
But this is why the Storm pick was so good against the Arc Warden in particular, but even against the Queen of Pain, being able to traverse the map very, very quickly. And I feel okay with Storm kind of delaying BKB here. And I clicked on MP because I was thinking in my head when you said it, as long as the Drow goes BKB, then it's okay.
And she does.
Yeah, and she has it completed now. If you go no BKBs across your 2 cores, I think you are pushing the limits as Fnatic, but they know exactly where that line is. And it's not as if Abed's not going BKB, right? It's Bloodstone, tanks him up, gives him that mana regen, gives him more kill threat and scaling capabilities. It's a backup plan. It's a safety net.
The later you get BKB, the better, honestly, in a game. Like, the more you can delay potentially a BKB, the later you can use the 10-second BKB. Imagine a Storm, like, say, minute 32, more or less, let's say he gets it. He's actually going for Lincoln's first, which is not that crazy. Have ideas. And you get a BKB then, you know, at the latest point in the game, you have this 10-second invulnerability essentially to kill everything. And Arc Warden is just not going to be able to tank up this game because you need that physical damage you were mentioning, because otherwise how do you deal with a Drow? But that means you don't get the item that potentially could tank you up. You're not going to get Scythe of Vice here because you can't afford it. You need that physical damage. You need the Butterfly, Daedalus, those kind of options. Even a Scotty is just not going to be good enough.
It's one of those interesting kind of core tenets of Dota 2. It's possible until they can't anymore. Just be slightly less greedy than their opponents. So they have that
walk
timing.
that line as much as possible.
Yeah, have that window. You know, back when we used to see the Midas meta, you know, it was all about getting the fastest Midas, and then it was all about
the Midas Crystal Maid? Oh, right, the sooner. The recent Midas meta.
Yeah, the recent Midas meta. And from that Midas meta, then we had the Vlad's meta, right?
Yeah.
Where it went from being as greedy as possible, getting Midas to be more greedy, to teams adapting and reacting to the Midas meta, saying, hey, we can get fast Vlads, and that counteracts how greedy they are, but we're still being, you know, greedy by getting this item as quickly as possible to go farm jungle afterwards or fall back on it, and then look for the pushes and objectives. And it's all about this back and forth, adapting to what your opponents are doing. Is bottom lane FBZ trying. They even Epicenter, Jokum channeled it up looking for that initiation, but
honestly,
no invis.
It's not that big a deal. I hate saying that wasting an Epicenter is not that big a deal, but you're minute 31, like the damage is not the most relevant thing, especially with an Oracle, right? Ideally, if you can solo kill a Storm, great, but right now it's super difficult to catch Abed. Especially because Prime Aurora has a pretty considerable charge time. As you can see, Abed is, he doesn't know if he's going to go for BKB or the Lincolns. He's kind of swapping between them, but it makes sense. Like, the Prime Aurora is starting to become not really a tool against you. You have ball lightning level 3. You can actually zoom past enough. or fast enough so that the Primal Roar can't catch you in time. It's way too long a charge time. It's not that strong of an ability anymore. That's why Beastmaster doesn't get picked every single game.
Bottom lane shoved in again by Fervy and Zark Warden. Tempest double. Storm has spent so much time clearing out bottom wave, and he's just given up. Abed doesn't want to sit bottom anymore as Roshan has respawned. MP starts things off, and Abed straight into the pit we go.
Yep, there's going to be a Roshan falling for Fnatic. And this is actually also a pretty huge Roshan. They actually give the cheese to Dry Ranger, which I love, because Aegis, you allow them to surround you. Cheese, you can use it whenever you want. And you have essentially a double life drow. Very difficult to kill, and he's starting to go for his first damage item, that being the big damage item, I guess. That being the butterfly.
And there's the there's the Storm BKB.
Okay, so he does go for BKB in the end.
So now we have the double 10
32
BKB,
minutes.
right? Powerful.
Yeah. It is a very, very difficult team fight now up for Boom ID.
This is endgame.
A lot of your damage was coming from Jakir, that's completely nullified. Sanking too, like you were mentioning earlier. Queen of Pain, I guess, still have Sonic Wave.
Yeah. So now the game for Boom is very much try and take a fight outside of your base, smoke up, try and find a choke point near your shrine, potentially somewhere in this area down towards bottom rune. Maybe you defend your top. It's going to come down to defending your shrine areas. Or if you want to play super passively and defensively, you sit back and defend your barracks. But the trouble with that is you don't really have the opportunity to kite BKBs as effectively. So if you play outside of your Beastmaster, there's a sentry there, pre-placed already. 70 seconds on the sidelines with no buyback. Oh, he's got it in 60 gold. He might have it in time for this push.
That's really unfortunate. Like, you're saying you can play defensively, you can play a bit offensively. Doing that, Arc Warden and Queen of Pain have been doing a pretty good job of pushing out the lanes, but you definitely need your Arc Warden and the clone to be able to magnetic field these racks. And they go for the Arc immediately. Perfect to save him, but no, it's not good enough. The BKBs make him essentially gods, and what's cooking is Boom ID's chances of winning this game right now.
Oh yeah, Brewmaster has a BKB casually off that Hand of Midas.
Yeah.
Blink Vlad's BKB even moving towards an AC, but
there's no physical damage.
As I said, they get BKBs and the game ends.
Creep skip all you want, Queen of Pain. The creeps are already there. Yeah, exactly. You have to go back. They put him into the fountain because the creeps are stupid and they walk into their own death. Nice smoke there by Kescute to not get jumped on.
Like the BKBs are down on Fnatic, so they are going pretty deep. But
Jokam in the wrong place.
Okay.
And Mikoto BKB'd, but doesn't matter. Marksmanship doesn't care about your golden god. Kescute is immediately decimated as well. Fnatic, I mean, they're just going to take this throne. GG from Boom ID, who have completely given up on their chances of winning this game.
It was close for the first 15, maybe 20 minutes. Queen of Pain had a decent performance. Arc Warden looks like he was farming up a storm. He was getting the split push going quite nicely. But it was always a matter of time. You look at Fnatic and you think, right, they have their primary items. They win a couple of team fights. They have a bit of a feed top lane. But once they get their BKBs, the game just literally ends.
Are you ready? Because we've just seen a game with, I would say, a lot of beautiful plays, and now we get to see a screen with two beautiful people.
Two early morning people. Oh, look at my hair, dude.
I think you look wonderful here.
Yeah, we just woke up.
Yeah, talk about him. I was prepared. I was actually studying the teams 5 hours before.
Bollocks. I'm calling bollocks on this, actually. Who do we have next?
The next game will be, because I'm so prepared, I
Fnatic
don't even
against
need to
Geek
check.
Fam. See, I know what's see, he's talking bullshit. I'm not looking at Wikipedia or anything like that. I'm not checking
There's no
schedules.
screen in front of him whatsoever.
I don't have a monitor.
He's actually casting just, what is it, holistically? Yeah. You're just guessing what's happening in the game. It's very impressive. I was very impressed the whole game.
I'm casting from audio cues.
From my
From his, I hear what he sees, but I don't see what anything. Yeah.
That's how on point his analysis has been this whole
So
game.
skilled.
But now let's actually look at some analysis, because we have production value for a reason. So again, we're gonna do the beautiful thing where graphs come out at you, right?
God, I'm gonna move out.
Yeah, move out the side, and we're gonna. I think a good comparison to start off with would be the Queen of Pain versus Storm Net Worth, right?
Please, that's actually a good idea, and I will move out of the way for it.
Yeah, so you have the Queen of Pain Storm Net Worth, and you start to see a divergence.
Like dead even until what, 25 minutes or 23 minutes or so?
Yeah, 23 minutes or so, and then a pretty big divergence here. And actually, kind of curious, is there a way we can
see? That's around the time. So Queen of Pain gets her Orchid. Go to player items.
Yeah, that's
and
a good
see
call.
what time she gets her Orchid, because